What?
I just can't unsee that.
Well, we're recording right now, so we're not going to talk about what you can't unsee right now either.
Oh my goodness.
If you want to know what Vickie can't unsee,
You'll have to send me a private Facebook message.
no, they're not going to get out of it that easy.
Oh, I don't know.
They
Okay.
got to buy a case of books
A case of books.
from each of us. There you go. No, that's not going to be simply a private
If I
Facebook
take a
message.
screen capture right then I would have some.
I'm glad you didn't.
Oh my goodness.
Welcome to Creating Connections episode 30.
Yay,
Holy
30.
cow, can you believe we are in 30 episodes right now? Crazy.
Awesome.
Quick shout out to my good friend and mentor Bill Herman, who
Yes.
is the one that kind of pushed us to get these fancy new little microphones here that we both have. I can barely see Vickie's. Can you pull yours in a little bit more?
Oh, sure.
Put it closer. There you go.
I moved my chair when I went
Yeah,
to.
all I see is your windscreen. I don't see the actual mic, but that's okay.
It's there.
I'm sure it's
there.
there. I know it's there. There it is. I see
You
the
can hear it. That's the most
I see the
important
tip. We're good. What?
thing.
God. Okay, so today's episode, we are talking about tips. What a segue.
Nice.
See? That's how we roll right here, baby. We are talking about tips for bridal shows, more specifically. And we had a person in our Sales for Event Pros group speak about bridal shows and how to follow up and how to stand out, right?
Yeah. James Hall asked the question. He said he just went to a bridal fair the other night, and there were about 150 people there. So obviously you connect with some and you have good conversations with some, but you can't connect with all of them.
Yeah.
So he was basically looking for, what do I do with the list that I get? What are the, how do I make myself stand out? What are the best suggestions for how to follow up?
So a big thing for me is you want to somehow connect with them at the show. Find a way that you can be different. So what is it that you can do that no other DJ company, entertainment company, production company, whatever you have for a business, what are they not doing? What can you do that'll make you stand out? For tailored weddings over the years, that has been different things. We've done a diamond giveaway. And we had several different little packets, little packets of cubic zirconia, but one of them had a diamond.
Really?
So they actually had to call in or email in and see if their number matched with the number for the diamond that we had here in house. There's one way.
Interesting.
We're the one giving away the diamond.
Fun. Okay.
Diamond's our girl's best friend, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I think for us, it wasn't necessarily so much something that we did intentionally, but we noticed after our first few years in the business that what people remembered about us is they liked seeing a husband and wife team.
Yes.
And that ended up just kind of becoming what people remembered. And so we used that to our advantage. We stopped having separate business cards. We had one card with both of our names on it with, our photo on the back. And people, oh yeah, I remember you guys. You're married and you work together and you still like each other. And
was that one of your tags that you used for the
yeah, exactly.
Perfect. There you go.
I think at some level that gives people hope too, in the wedding planning process.
Absolutely. They figure, well, they got through that many weddings together, then.
When it goes back to, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about branding and that idea that you don't get to create your brand. Your brand is what people are saying about you.
Yes.
Well, if that's what people are remembering about us, that's a good thing. We're a married couple that works in the wedding industry. Let's leverage that.
Yes.
And that's how people remembered us. We made sure that if one of us was talking to them, we introduced the other one, or, whatever it was that we could follow up. And when we follow up, we have our that same photo that's on our card in the signature of the email. So they go, oh yeah, I remember them. That's that couple that we talked to.
Congruency in marketing is crucial. You want to make sure that, yes, if you have a similar headshot, of how you appeared that day. Now, if your hair was blonde back then
Okay,
you
I have different business cards. I have blonde business cards, I have brunette business cards, and I have red business cards.
there's a joke there, but I'll be good, kids. Uh,
That was actually that's why I've been red like for this many years in a row
uh,
because I got tired of me every time I changed my hair color. I would say, "Okay, we have to go get new
new
photos done.
headshots, yeah.
Have to order new business cards."
But whatever you can do, whether that is your branding, whether that is something that you said to them, so obviously that clicked with them with what you said about we're the husband and wife team that's still together kind of thing or whatever, um, or whether it's the diamond thing or we do
Yes,
scratch off
you've
cards
got
now.
something. There we go. I wanted you to talk about this. I
Yeah, so
love
we do
this.
scratch off cards for tailored weddings, where basically a couple comes in to the bridal show and we say, hey, would you like a chance to win up to 20% off your wedding? Oh my gosh, yeah. So all you have to do that, set up a meeting with us. We'll jot down your name and information on here, and then come into the meeting. We'll talk about your wedding day. At the end of the meeting, we'll scratch off the card and see if you're a winner.
I love it.
So what does that accomplish for you? That accomplishes for you a way to get them out of the hustle bustle craziness
Hmm.
of the bridal show and in a
Yes.
more controlled environment where you're able to talk freely about their wedding day. You don't have another DJ speakers blaring overhead, or maybe the awesome cupcakes that are next door to you and they're just going past you and rum rum rum. Um, so you're able to get them in a more controlled environment, chat more about their wedding day, see how you can help, and then also it gives them incentive to make the meeting. They don't
Hmm.
get the 20% off or 10% off or whatever you choose to do for your giveaway. They don't have that opportunity to win that unless they get to the meeting. Now, by the way, for these scratch off cards, every single scratch off card is a winner of some sort. It may be a free instant slideshow. It may be a free monogram. It may be free backdrop, one wall of uplighting, something that is of
Hmm.
low cog to us as a company,
Yes.
but is a high dollar value for them.
Yep.
But that we can again entice
And
them
it makes
to
them feel like a winner,
yes,
and that's a good thing.
yes, absolutely,
Well, I
absolutely.
know this is straying a little bit from the original question, but I think you kind of glossed over something that I think is important
Okay.
is that I think there are still some people that don't realize that you shouldn't be selling at a wedding show. You shouldn't be going into all the specifics of your packages and your offerings, but that is your chance to make a connection, make a sales appointment and set that meeting to book with them later. Yes, it's for making an impression and selling a little bit of who you are, but don't expect them to make decisions that
Well,
day at the show.
no, definitely not, unless you are the low price entity in your market. If you're the low price entity in your market and you want to book at the show and capitalize on that excitement, then I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if you're anywhere from the medium to upper end of the scale, then I would say no. You want to establish that relationship. You want to have confidence and be able to connect with
Yeah.
them. It's kind of like the phone call that happened literally right before we went on the air here.
Yes.
Uh, we're on,
I got to be a fly on a wall during
yeah,
an actual, tailored wedding sales call.
yeah. But Vickie we had Skype open and we were chatting and getting ready to hit record, and the bride called in, and Allison, my office manager, was out, so I answered the phone, and her first words out of her mouth was, "So how much is your price?" "Hi, I'm Rebecca. I found out about you. How about you from Google and just searched Escanaba DJ and was curious to get your pricing." So we talked about her wedding a little more, and I set an appointment, and she's coming in next Monday.
Yep.
So
And you never had to tell her the
I
price. She
didn't
didn't even
tell her
ask
price.
again.
Nope. Didn't ask again. I asked her what her date was, where she's having it. She's having it at a venue that we're actually performing at this weekend. So we gained a
Hmm.
little familiarity there. We talked about how she's having her ceremony here locally and her reception an hour away. So we'll dig more into that in the actual appointment. And then from there, we said, okay, when's good for us to get together?
Yep.
That was it.
Now I have to ask while we're on this fun little tangent.
Okay.
Did you really want to meet with her in the afternoon? Because the way you phrased it, you said, "What's best for you? Afternoon, evening, or morning?" And she's like, "Oh, afternoon's fine." Was that intentional
Yeah.
to get her to say afternoon? I loved that.
Yeah, it was. How you say things thank you, Mark Farrell, is very important. So typically, it's
Mm-hmm.
either how you say it or you want to end on it. Normally, sometimes people are, if they're not paying attention really, really well, they will
Mm-hmm.
just say the last thing that you said.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want them to meet in the evenings, so the morning, afternoon, or the evenings work better for you. Oh, evening sounds good.
Yep.
That's the last thing you said.
I don't know. There was something about the way you said it. I wish we
Oh,
would have been recording during that call.
sorry.
Okay, bridal fair follow up.
Yes.
So I guess the heart of the question is if you got this list, what do you do with it? And I know I responded online. You need to have basically two separate plans of follow up. You follow up one way with the people that you met with in person,
Yes.
and then you have a different plan of follow up for the people that are just on that list. So you first want to make sure you're cross referencing the list of contacts that you collected, so you're not accidentally sending them the generic, thanks
Yep.
for coming to the
Yes.
show, but you're personalizing that one more. But then you have to have that reason to make them want to contact
Yes.
you.
You have to have a reason, and you also have to vary it, like you said, personalize it to what your communication is with them.
Hmm.
So you need to have a few different rabbit holes, if you will, of where you go with email follow up, and it's important, or even phone call follow up. And I kind of try to alternate between them, email, phone call, email, phone call, email,
Hmm.
phone call, as much as I can. The other thing, I just read this actually today, so I want to give this little nugget out here if I can. Um, there was a photo booth marketing thing on Facebook, or whatever, and said the 9-word email that is guaranteed to get responses. So I'm like, let me see, what does it say, right? And the guy responded. It kind of makes a lot of sense because it's very similar to one that I send at the very end of my campaigns. And the one I send at the end of my campaign is a picture of a guy like on a deserted little island monument thing up in the middle. And it says, "I'm still here" on the top. And then my subject line is "still there?" question mark. So it's very similar. And I have just something worded just saying, "Hey, just don't want to be a pest. Want to make sure you're taken care of. Let me know if you're still interested," kind of thing. But
Hmm.
the 9-word email this guy sends is just in the subject line only. Are you still interested in photo booth, wedding entertainment, cakes, whatever, for your
Yep.
wedding day? That's it. Don't send anything
Yep.
else. Because now you're asking a direct question that's asking for a response
Hmm.
that really needs a response because that's all you sent them.
Yep. But that's at the end of your campaign.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what advice do you have for people that are looking
Well,
to craft that very first,
that's at the end of the campaign, or if they haven't
if they
responded to
haven't
you.
responded? Yes, if it's going to be the end of the campaign if they haven't
Well,
responded, right?
in most cases,
For
yes.
that
But if
reason.
you send a few emails out and they don't respond, they don't respond, they don't
Hmm.
respond, you may drop that one in the middle. Maybe after 3 emails and say, "Hey, where you at?" Kind of thing. But for the first email or first series of emails, we try to sympathize with them
Hmm.
and what they're going through. And again,
Seeing how overwhelmed they are with everything
yeah,
they just experienced at the wedding fair.
yeah, and I even joke with some of them. This kind of goes back to being in a northern climate, I guess. But all these little things you collected in your bridal bag, half of the stuff is going to be kindling in your fireplace after a couple of weeks or
Nice.
whatever. It humanizes the experience.
We have little cards in our booth. This is how I collect the information. And when someone's talking with us and I basically am asking permission to follow up, my card at the top of it says, "Yes, I'm overwhelmed by everything here at the wedding fair today. I'd like you to call me later."
Nice.
And that's what it says right across. And people see that and they laugh and they go, "Oh my God, you get me." And then they fill
Yes.
out their information. So I stopped doing a drawing. I don't do a giveaway at my booth or anything.
Okay.
I'm just I want to collect addresses from in contact information from people who are actually interested in meeting with me, not people that are just trying to win something for free that are gonna, end up wasting my time later.
Yeah.
So I only collect the warm leads in my booth, and those are the ones I focus my follow up on first. But that's just my way of connecting with them is acknowledging, yeah, there's a lot going on today.
That's
It's overwhelming.
that
Let's
is
let's
great.
talk later.
See, this is the beauty of podcasts. This is the beauty of Sales for Event Pros. This is the beauty of collaboration. When you can pick up a nugget or two, a nugget from what Vickie just gave you, I want to take and use that for me for tailored weddings. I could pick up a nugget like we had with Dave Tournier last episode with
Mhm.
how he approaches follow up after the event.
Yep.
This is what it's all about. How can we give back? How
Hey,
can
you
we
mean
help?
we're not doing this podcast because we have all the answers and we do everything right 100% of the time and know everything?
I'm still waiting for the your checks in the mail. No.
Ah,
Gitomer certified advisor Mitch Taylor.
certified personality trainer Vickie Musni.
Come see us in Albany coming up. We're going to be in Albany on November 2nd and 3rd.
Third.
We've got
Mhm.
workshops coming up. If you want to know more about connecting, creating those connections, if you want to learn about the 4 styles of personalities that will help you boost your business and boost your connections, hop in Vickie's workshop in Albany or my workshop in Albany as well. I know the space is
You
limited
can
on
do
those.
both though because they're happening at different
And they
times.
actually have a deal for both. So you actually get a little bit
Yes,
of a discount there.
it's true.
So just search Albany Adirondack Wedding Association on Facebook and you'll be able to find the details for that. Check us out on our individual websites, VickieMusni.com or MitchTaylor.net. And we will see you next time.
Have a good one.
Bye bye.